All right, let's talk about something that sounds, well, a little boring, but is actually the secret weapon for operational excellence. I'm talking about the asset register. You get this right, and everything changes. You get it wrong, well, you're just constantly putting out fires.
So if you're in maintenance, reliability, or operations, you know this feeling, right? You've got hundreds, maybe thousands of assets to keep track of. Pumps, motors, vehicles, you name it. Each one has its own story, its own quirks. It can be a total nightmare to manage.
And you know what? That feeling of being overwhelmed is completely justified. Without a real system, you're just reacting all day long, trying to figure out what's what. It's chaos. It's inefficient. But there is a much, much better way.
So how do we get out of that chaos? Well, that brings us right into our first section. We're going to see how an asset register takes that messy, overwhelming list and turns it into a genuine strategic powerhouse for your entire operation.
Okay, so what's the big payoff? The amazing thing here is how all these benefits just stack on top of each other. It really all kicks off with visibility. I mean, once you actually know what you have and where it is, you can plan so much better. And better planning, that leads directly to less downtime, smarter use of your people and parts, and financials that actually make sense. And suddenly, those dreaded audits, they become a walk in the park instead of a total nightmare.
And look, this isn't just some fluffy theory. We're talking about real, hard numbers here. Companies that get this right often see a 5 to 15% drop in their unplanned downtime. Think about that. That's not magic. It's the direct result of moving away from frantic, reactive repairs and into planned, scheduled maintenance that happens when you want it to. That is a huge, game-changing impact on the bottom line.
This slide just lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? It's the difference between two worlds. You're either living in that left column, constant firefighting, unexpected breakdowns, total chaos, or you're on the right side, proactive, in control, where maintenance is planned, schedules are efficient, and your equipment is reliable. It's really about deciding who's in charge, you or your assets.
All right, so we've covered the why. We get it. It's a big deal. So now let's jump into section 2 and talk about the what. What exactly is this thing? Because it's really the digital DNA, the backbone of your whole operation.
Okay, let's get one thing straight right away. An asset register is not just a spreadsheet or a simple list of stuff. No way. It's the single source of truth. It's that one centralized place where everyone, from the folks on the floor to the team in finance, goes to get the real story on your assets.
And a really good register, it tells the whole story. It tracks an asset through its entire life. I'm talking from the moment it's just a spec on a design document, through its purchase, commissioning, every single bit of maintenance and operation, right up to the day it's taken out of service. That whole history, it's all there. Nothing ever gets lost.
So what's inside this digital DNA? Well, you've got the basics, right? The unique ID, the model number, where it lives in the plant. You've got the financial details for the bean counters. But here's where the real magic happens. The maintenance history. Every single work order, every failure, every hour it's run. And maybe most important of all, its criticality rating. You have to know, is this a minor piece of equipment or is it something that could shut down the whole plant if it fails? Because that one piece of information changes everything about your strategy.
Now, this all sounds great in theory, but let's be real. Building and maintaining something this important isn't always a walk in the park. So in section 3, we're going to get practical. We'll look at the common pitfalls, the traps that so many companies fall into, and, more importantly, the best practices for how to sidestep them completely.
Oh man, here's a classic. I bet this looks familiar to a lot of you. You've got one person calling it Pump 1. Someone else types in Main Pump Number 1. A third person uses the code P001. They're all talking about the same exact asset. But in your system, it's chaos. Now you've got duplicate work orders, your cost reports are a mess, and you basically can't trust any of your data. This one little thing creates a massive headache.
So what's the fix? It's all about standardization. It's actually pretty straightforward. 1, you have to establish clear, simple naming conventions that everyone agrees on. 2, lock it down. Use things like predefined drop-down lists in your system. Don't let people just type whatever they want. And 3, make it official. Create a data governance policy. That way, everybody knows the rules of the game.
Okay, the next big trap is what I like to call data decay. Your asset register has to be a living, breathing thing. If you're not constantly feeding it with up-to-date info, it gets stale, fast. And before you know it, you're dealing with ghost assets. You know, planning maintenance and ordering expensive parts for a machine that was moved or scrapped 6 months ago.
So how do you fight that decay and keep things fresh? First, get physical tags on your equipment. Barcodes, QR codes, make it super easy for your techs to scan and update on the spot. Second, build it into your process. Make updating the asset record a required step to close out a work order. And this last one is critical. Someone has to own the data, assign a data steward, and get out there. Do regular physical audits to make sure what's in the computer actually matches what's out on the floor.
Okay, let's bring this all home in our final section. Because having a great asset register isn't just about dodging bullets and avoiding problems. It's so much bigger than that. It's about laying the foundation for true, world-class excellence in asset management.
And this right here is the key takeaway. If you have ambitions, if you want to get into the advanced stuff like reliability center maintenance or RCM, or you want to do a proper FMEA to get ahead of failures, forget about it. You literally cannot do any of that without a solid asset register. Thinking about going for ISO 55000 certification? It's a non-starter. A clean, accurate, reliable register is the absolute non-negotiable first step. Everything else is built right on top of this foundation of good data.
And really, this is what it all boils down to. We've seen it again and again. Your asset register is way more than just a list. It's that single source of truth. It's the engine that powers smarter, data-driven decisions for your whole company. And that's how you turn maintenance from being seen as just a cost center into what it really is, a massive strategic advantage.
So, I'll leave you with one final thought to take back to your own operations. Take a hard look at your data. Right now, is it a source of chaos and risk, basically a liability? Or is it your most powerful strategic asset? Because it absolutely should be. Thanks for tuning in.